back to my channel. So today, as you read from the title, is going to be a story time, my first story time, as a matter of fact. But if you're new to my channel, welcome. I would love for you to stick around and join my YouTube family by clicking on that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you are aware of when I drop videos. So today's story time is going to be about how I became allergic to everything that I am allergic to. It's also kind of coincides with my first birth story. So I'll give you a little bit of detail of that because that is what led to what happened to me. So first thing first, we're going to roll back all the way to 2000, the year that my first child was born. I was 20 years old. I was nervous, not knowing, young, not knowing what to do, and not knowing what to expect in the delivery room. Sorry, tongue twisted. But my water broke twice. Yes, twice. It broke when I was at home. And I called my doctor and they told me to come into the office. Went into the office. On the way back to the room, my water broke again. So evidently it was not fully broke the first time. But yeah, my water broke twice. And so they immediately sent me on to the hospital. Well, in the hospital, everything's going good. My contractions ended up started to slow up. So they ended up having to give me Pitocin, but of course I ended up getting an epidural. So all that was going on, and 27 hours later, it was time for me to push. So right when I got ready to push, a nurse stuck her head in my room, delivery room, and told my doctor that she was needed for an emergency C-section. So the doctor then decided to give me an episiotomy, which is where they cut you so that you don't tear when you push, right? So the scissors that they use to do that are very long and sharp. So at the time, I thought everything was fine, and I ended up having my son. They left the epidural medication on the whole time I was in labor. So 27 hours of numbing medication. So I was numb for a very long time after giving birth. So long story short, I ended up, the baby Trey was fine, so I was fine. We ended up going home. So I noticed like the first week at home, I couldn't use the bathroom as far as having a bowel movement. So I tried everything. I took stool softeners, everything or whatever to use the bathroom. Nothing would make me go. Finally, after a week, I felt like I had to go. Went to the bathroom, and I had let go of 3 toilet bowls full of water. Of blood. And what I thought were bowel movements were big blood clots. I panicked. I told my grandmother. I was living with my grandmother at the time, and she immediately rushed me to the hospital. So we went back to the emergency room. Mind you, I had a 1-week-old baby. Go to the emergency room. While waiting in the emergency room, I had to go back to the bathroom. I lost another toilet bowl full of blood. So they finally get me back to the back of the emergency room, and they decided to take me to go have an x-ray. I fainted. I had lost so much blood. I fainted. I blacked out. I don't remember anything else that happened in between that time and the time that I woke up in a hospital bed, which was several days later. I had surgery on my intestines. I had been given a blood transfusion. So What led up to this? When the doctor gave me my episiotomy, she stuck the scissors up too far and she snipped my intestines. A whole week went by, had no idea all this happened, but they ended up doing a scope while I was blacked out, and they found a little bitty hole in my intestines that had to be repaired. So while I was in the hospital, of course, my mom wanted to be the one to give me blood because her blood matches my blood. So, but they wouldn't allow her to do it because they said they wouldn't have time to process the blood, clean it, or whatever. So I had to get somebody else's blood. So, one of my ex-boyfriends, which we're still friends, Farrell, he brought me a fruit basket into the hospital, and I took a bite out of an apple, and that's when I noticed my first allergic reaction to fruit. So I thought it was just apples, and come to find out, it was apples, plums, peaches, pears, nuts, all types of nuts. What else? Pretty much the only fruits that I can eat are bananas, strawberries, oranges, watermelon, cantaloupe, honeydew. I think I said strawberries, and that's pretty much it as far as fresh fruit goes. Now, if the fruit is cooked, as far as apple pie, cherry pie, anything like that, I can eat it just fine. I also can use the frozen fruit, but fresh fruit, those are the only fruits that I can eat. And before all this happened, I could eat all fruits, all nuts, anything, almonds, everything. But now, like y'all, I'm allergic to trees. I'm allergic to nature, pretty much. I have to have a Zyrtec in my system in order to be outside. Otherwise, I will have a reaction. I remember one day waking up in the middle of my sleep, just itching all over. Like I was like digging into my skin. I didn't realize until the next day how bad that I dug into my skin from itching so bad because I had an allergic reaction to the stuffed salmon they had at Sam's. I'm not allergic to salmon. I can eat salmon just fine. Whatever they had in the stuffing, I'm allergic to something that was in there. And mind you, the salmon was cooked. So I don't know to this day what that was, but I have never ate that stuffed salmon again. I won't even eat anything stuffed like that again. So, yeah, it's just weird how that can happen. So I developed whoever's blood that I got, I picked up their allergies as well, and it's been a really hard 20 years later. I do have a plum tree and an apple tree that I planted myself in my backyard. I just planted it a couple of months ago. I am trying to see if it's that I'm not allergic to the actual fruit, but I'm allergic to whatever they use to fertilize or whatever to the fruit. So I'm gonna try that out. I'm gonna make sure that I take my allergy medicine before, but I am going to see if growing my own stuff will work. I did try organic, that doesn't work. So yeah, that's how I became allergic to everything. And y'all, it was a scary situation with the hospital thing, and I pretty much almost died when I came to, and I was in my hospital room. Now, mind you, I had been in ICU, had not known that I was in ICU until somebody told me. The controller that I was working for at the time, she came to see me when I was in ICU, but she came and see me again when I came to and I was woke and was able to talk to people. And she told me that, because she was a white lady, she said, Tiffany, I'm not trying to scare you, but you were as white as me when I came to see you before. And a nurse had told me, honey, if you hadn't came in here when you did, you would have died, because I had lost so much blood. So I'm grateful that I had the blood transfusion, But at the same time, it changed my life because now I have to be mindful of what I eat. I can't just eat anything anymore without having an allergic reaction. Y'all, I am allergic to pine sol. I loved cleaning with pine sol. I loved the smell of it and everything. But I realized that I was allergic to pine sol when I was at work one day. And the cleaning lady had just left out of the bathroom, and I could tell that she used pine sol. So I went into the bathroom just to get some tissue to blow my nose. I blew my nose, came out, my whole face swelled up. I had to leave work and go to urgent care just to see what the heck was going on. And it dawned on me that she must have got some spray, the spray or something that she used, must have got on the tissue, and it caused me to have a reaction. So no, I can't even use pine sol. My favorite cleaner. I love the smell of it and everything. So I am just, it's so hard, but I'm thankful to be alive. I would rather have to deal with this than not be here with my kids. And I did go on to have 2 more kids after that with no problem. So this is definitely not a story to scare anybody who's pregnant or thinking about having babies. I just wanted to tell my story and share with you guys how having a blood transfusion changed my life forever. So with that being said, I hope that you all enjoyed this story time, and I will chat with you all in the next video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I will chat with you all in the next video. Bye.